On and on. Hey everybody on YouTube. This is zandyNO and I come on to give you an update on me and Miss Layla. Layla had her surgery on Tuesday of last week. Um, her surgery, the surgery that she had is called a mandibular distraction, where they break her jaw, move it in place where it was supposed to be um, for surgery. For birth, and then they add screws there, and then they distract them for 10 to 12 days until it's in the place where it needs to be uh, normally. Um, it sounds pretty horrible, but it's not as bad as it seems. She's tolerating her rotations pretty well, and she's not swollen anymore. We are 7 days past surgery, so she's not swollen anymore. Right now, we're at the point where as she has no more tubes, she has no more IVs. Um, we're just waiting for her to uh, breathe normally on her own. She can breathe on her own, but it's like she's catching her breath every time. Most of the time when she's breathes, she's very positional. We have to put her in certain positions um, for her to be able to breathe really well. That's because the tongue is still falling back into her throat and obstructing her airway just a little bit to where she has to catch her breath when she breathes. She has to really just learn how to relax and lay her tongue flat. And once her jaw is fully distracted, the goal is that it will automatically lay like it's supposed to, like ours do, on its own. Um, what she has is called Perry Robin, Pierre Robin sequence. There's a sequence and there's a syndrome. The sequence is when they have any other abnormalities, like some other kind of. I'm sorry. The sequence is when it's by itself, and the syndrome is when they have some other abnormalities chromosomally um, when at birth. Um, we have not got our chromosome test back, but she's functioning like she's it's just a rare coincidence that this happened to her. So we're figuring that everything is fine chromosomally until we get the chromosome test back. But I'm not really worried about that. I believe in God, and He's got us through all this. And my baby has been through a lot in her little 3 weeks of life, but she's made it through. She's strong, and she's definitely a fighter. Um, what else did I want to tell you? Oh, I think I told you that all her tubes and IVs and stuff are removed. She doesn't have any of those left. Right now, all we're just waiting for is feeding, because of the cleft palate that she has. She has to feed off a special bottle, and we're just waiting for occupational therapy to come up. The order was just written today for them to start feeds. Um, they didn't come today, so hopefully they'll come tomorrow morning and start her feeds. That way we'll be able to bottle feed her throughout the day, which will be a new experience for ourselves, because at this point her feeding is what will send us home. How she does on feedings. I'm praying that by Christmas we'll be home. Um, Even if they send us home Christmas Day, I just would love to be home for Christmas. That would be my greatest Christmas present, to be home with my child for Christmas. Um, it was a couple of other things that I really wanted to say. One of the main things that I wanted to say to you all who are about to be parents, none of this was detected on the ultrasound. My baby was considered to be perfectly normal until she was born. Ultrasounds are not 100%. And I say that because of the fact that I believed that if it wasn't detected on the ultrasound, that my baby was fine. And we did all those ultrasounds. I had over 12 ultrasounds, and none of it was detected on our ultrasounds. So if you think you see something abnormal on an ultrasound and you have a question about it, not even because you know what you're looking at, but if it's something that in the back of your mind you feel is wrong, question it. Ask them to look into it. Check it. Um, a long time ago, I watched a video, and Nikki Proverbs made a statement that doctors they're called to practice because they are in practice, and you never know, you never really understand that statement until you're in that situation. And now I'm in that situation, and I really do understand that they're only giving me what they think they see or what they know to look for. Um, my child's situation was not severe, so therefore that's why it was not caught on an ultrasound. So, but on our last ultrasound and the ultrasound right before our last ultrasound, I did notice a difference in her lip structure. But we thought she was just pouting, and she wasn't. It actually was because her jaw was distracted a little bit, and it wasn't like it was supposed to be. So if by some chance you know what you're looking for, or even if you don't know what you're looking for, if you're not a person to ask questions, or just take the word of a doctor or believe in technology itself, but in the back of your mind you have a question, ask that question. Don't leave that question unasked, because when you do deliver and something is wrong or may become wrong, you're going to question yourself and you're going to beat yourself up because you're going to feel like there was something that you did not do, or you should have asked, or you should have did, um, in the end. And it's not your fault, and it's nothing that you can actually do about it, but it's just the fact that I've been there and I know how that feels to beat yourself up about every little thing and worry if you're the reason why your child is like this. I cried for a week because I felt like I was the reason my child is in the situation that she's in. And even though I could not have prevented it, because I've never even heard of this, a short jaw or Pierre Robin. I've never heard of that syndrome or sequence ever in my life until I had a child with it. And then there's not even a lot of information out there for it. It's just, um, there's not a lot of information out there for this particular situation. I'll call her back. There's nothing out there for this particular um, sequence or syndrome, um, to really look for it. I mean, there's information, there's places you can call to give you the support, but most people look for outlets like this to find people who've been through different situations and expect some answers, or not even expect answers, but just expect some guidance, or use it for guidance and for information to be able to deal with their own situation. And I've looked for it and looked for it. I mean, there's a few things on here, and there's a couple of things on the internet, but there is not a lot of information on this particular um, syndrome, sequence syndrome, whatever you want to call it, that my daughter has. And it's hard to deal with when you have no avenues to really go about to seek information on different things. You just have to basically learn on your own from the doctor. And then this situation is not that rare. They say that it's a rare occurrence, but I'm at Children's Mercy Hospital of Missouri, and they say they've had several cases over the years. And the doctor that did my daughter's surgery has done over 100 cases of this same thing, from the mildest to the worst, the more severe. So it's weird how you're told the information that you're reading is not updated to the point where you can actually get any updated information on it, because it's so backdated to the point that they're still calling it a rare occurrence, and it's not as rare as people think it is, or as rare as I was told that it was until I talked to the doctors here. So that's the update on us. I'm at 10 minutes, so I'll give you another update later on. Thank you.